What is up, ladies and gentlemen? The sports version of Bonnie and Clyde are back in full effect. It's your boy, Mr. P.L. Coulter, host of the Extra Point Show, alongside my partner in crime, my right hand woman, Miss Tasha T. Sizzle. All right, and we have an official sponsor for the show. The Extra Point After Dark is officially brought to you by, drumroll please,
May Jane's Coffee. It's a coffee company started by my daughter, and we would appreciate your business. You can order her coffee at mayjanescoffee.com. That's MAEJANES coffee.com.
right on. We got a sponsor, y'all, and it's a B.O.B. and a sister is head of the corporation, and I couldn't be more proud of Miss Sasha Denise
And,
on
and,
her
one,
professional endeavors. Yes, go
and,
ahead.
and one more sponsor. The mosquitoes do not play in the island. Yeah. And I'm outside. I'm sitting outside. So yeah, let me spray
as,
up. There we go.
as as the old people would say, that's one of the few prices to pay to live in the beautiful Dominica Republica.
You can see they public house.
Right, you can see they podcast. Now, see, I told y'all this is the After Dark episode, so this
Hey
is
Steph.
a little less PG. What's up, my sister? We're gonna go ahead and do a flex for her real quick. I saw the post today. Shouts out to my sister for keeping um the faith and fighting cancer, kicking cancer in its butt. We love you. We appreciate you. Tasha, in a few minutes, there is, speaking of butt kickings, somebody gonna get their ass whooped tonight. And I need you to tell me, somebody gonna get their ass whooped tonight. And I need you to tell me if it's gonna be the Dallas Cowboys or the Baltimore Ravens.
You know it's the cowgirls. You know it's the girls. You know
Don't
it's them.
emasculate them. They had a rough enough year as it is.
The thing is, it's a toss up because old Lamara is back tonight, but we don't
Right, he's back
know.
starting.
I remember I told you this a while ago. I said I had some theories on the COVID, on the lasting effects of the COVID, but I had to
Hmm.
wait to see if a few things played out.
Right,
But
right.
that one running back, I don't know his name in Jacksonville. I mean, I think he probably just got out of the hospital, and he was really really sick with the COVID. Like that man has not been right since. Um, I don't really know. The practice and this and other thing. Is he back up to par? Is the team back where they need to be? And we know the Cowboys are just who they are. They just the Cowboys,
Right. They should be
But
well rested.
they should be well rested. This Tuesday night game is kind of, but
Right.
yeah. But I still think Baltimore is going to take this.
Hey, look,
They
the
need it.
After Dark goons are already chiming in, and you know it's After Dark when Mr. Michael Harris says the Cowgirls about to get their ass whooped.
About to whip your ass quick, as
Hey,
in quick to
okay,
get your ass whipped.
now, okay, so let's look past. Let's look at this big picture then. For Dallas, I do think that it's a tough matchup. Um, your what are your thoughts on Dez Bryant returning against his team? Do you think Baltimore goes out of their way for him to throw up the X tonight?
If they want to be petty, yes. But if they want to win, like I really haven't paid that much attention to Dez to see what he was doing. Dez was Dez was Dez. You can't take that away. Dez was a beast when he was in Dallas.
Right.
Dez, you can't take that away from the man. But we don't know what he actually looks like. So if they want to win, they're not going to try to be petty. They're going to put their best weapons out there to be the most effective because Baltimore needs a victory. They need it.
They need a victory bad. Um, I would say this now in the little snippet that we got to see him in the Titans game a few weeks ago. He was running some real basic stuff, nothing really down the field, nothing to where he would have to separate from a defender. So I would guess if he is going to have an impact, to be in the red zone at the goal line or something of that nature. Um, I'm worried more so about Lamar Jackson going forward. You can't put no bad tape out there tonight, Lamar.
No,
This is a
no.
Dallas defense that has been embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly throughout the season. And as a Titans fan, I know what an embarrassing defense looks like.
Boom.
Look, right, the Titans don't think Tennessee just because y'all not on the rundown that I'm not gonna say nothing about that defensive performance that had me covering my face at Kroger the other day. But we're gonna digress on that. Um, Baltimore, what do you think they're now? This is a must-win game for them as way things are shaking up in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think their chances are long term? You think they'll get past this and whoop their ass? What about going forward? Do you think they'll have enough in the tank to overthrow one of the final two spots to make the playoffs? Because right now they're on the outside looking in, back by
Because they're
one
like
game.
ninth. They're like
Right,
ninth place or something like that. I think, ooh, it's going to be tough. But if they do get in, I don't see them going far because
right,
it's like I said. We said this last week. People have figured out Lamar. Whatever he was doing, it's not working. It's putting, what do you kind of say? It's putting a spotlight on him, but it's not getting the job done as
right,
it was, when he was an MVP last year.
right,
So
right.
the fact that people are, I'm really curious to see if Dallas figures him out. As you know, it seems to be as all these other teams have figured him out. Not saying necessarily they stopped him, they have slowed him down. And slowing a player like that down is kind of like stopping him because he's just fast paced. Go, go, go.
Right, right, and I really think that he more than just about any other quarterback in the league, the way that they designed their entire offense around a particular skill set. Once you start honing in
Hmm.
and devising a plan to stop that particular game plan, where's the plan B? It's not like he's going to just
Right.
stand back there in the shotgun and just go Aaron Rodgers on you, or even Dak Prescott for that matter. So
And
I'm
that's the
worried
thing.
about them.
Can he? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. No,
Like we know Lamar can throw, but he is the you hate to say it, he is the prototypical black run first. You
right,
hate to say that. You hate to say
right,
that. He can throw, but I think because they're so used to him, okay, if the offense break down, what he sees is not there, they know he's gonna tuck it and run. That's
right,
predictable.
right.
That's predictable.
And that basic old school Tecmo Bowl playbook that they got, where you just running tight ends across the middle and scrambling with the QB, the
Mm-hmm.
league caught up with that. And
Right.
so for Dallas, I honestly think that if Dallas plays some disciplined football, that and put up just a few points, Baltimore's not the
Mm-hmm.
type of team that can come back from rally from a
No.
deficit. So I think
No.
that if Dallas can start fast tonight, then it could be a long night for Baltimore. Now let's transition into one of Baltimore's rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, last
Mm-hmm.
week on TEPAD with T Sizzle, hey y'all, I said that off the top of my head, and I thought I was gonna mess that up.
You foolish.
um, now an Ohio State fan just says, "Hey, can I chime in? What happened to y'all today?" We're gonna get into that, Johnny. Don't you worry
Yeah.
about that. We go we gonna get
Uh-huh.
we're gonna get into that in just a
Uh-huh.
second. But with Pittsburgh, now last week we were talking about it because I asked you if Pittsburgh had the best record in the league or were they the best team in the league, and you said best record, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now they lost yesterday actually. Another weird day game that they've had to play. The stuff has been twisted all around. My question to you is, we talked about this earlier off wax. You said this loss may be a good thing for Pittsburgh. Why do you say that?
Because I think they needed to come together. They needed to sit down and see what was going on. They needed to sit down and see why these wide receivers keep dropping these passes.
Right,
Why this game, unlike other, the defense was kind of undisciplined. Normally, the defense is what's basically propelling Pittsburgh, and it
right,
kind of
right,
always has been. Um, they needed to lose so they can sit back and reflect on what they really need to do moving forward. This isn't, we barely squeak by. We barely beat this team. We barely beat that team. But those receivers are going to kill them if they can't catch
right,
that ball. And Big Ben, yeah, that interception he threw at the end, yeah, it was tipped, but it was still an interception. It still goes in
right,
the books as an
right,
interception. You can't
Right.
have turnovers like that. And then for them to lose, you can't say, oh, the no name team. Or, I mean, they have a name, it's just a racist name. But they're still a professional football team. And they're going to
Right.
come out and they're going to try to do their best every game. So they weren't going to just roll over just because
Right.
they were playing the undefeated Steelers. That gave Washington, more, yeah, we got to beat them. We're going to knock them off. So these 72 Dolphins can go on and pop that cork, you
Right.
know,
Right.
pop,
Right.
pop
Oh,
that
you're
cork on that
right.
champagne,
Mercury
you
Hayes and
know.
all them, Mercury Morris and Papa Greasy and all of them. Yeah, they turned up right now.
Right. So, it was, they needed to lose. I think because they were not playing. Like I said, it was hard because I'm pulling because Pittsburgh has always been my AFC team. This is before the Titans. Of course, 49ers NFC. Pittsburgh has always been my AFC team. So of course I'm rooting for them with my heart. But they needed to lose because they need to sit back and say, hey, what are we doing wrong? Because I remember I told you, I said our Kansas City is the best. I said they were kind of like my 1A and 1B. I gave them the
Right.
B because of the undefeated record, not necessarily
Right.
because of their play.
Right. It made me think when you said that earlier um, that I totally agree with you, and the reason why is because for the last 3 or 4 games, Mike Tomlin has been going into that press conference with the attitude like they lost.
Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
not in the mood after
Mhm.
a win. You talking about 9-0, 10-0, 11-0. He was not in the mood. He said they suck. He said that they weren't playing well, that they weren't getting it done. They're not running the ball. That
Mhm.
Washington loses their top running back in the first in the first 10 minutes of the game, and
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
still blow a 14-point lead to a team that's not known for scoring the ball. That's just
I mean, and then,
unacceptable. And you're right.
and,
The drops were just awful.
and then Alex Smith with that cheap run off the field, before that field goal with the ball.
Oh yeah, that was that
I
was
mean,
that was
those
janky.
3 points came back to haunt them. They really
They did.
did.
They did. It really came back to haunt them. Moving forward, do you think this is just a stumbling block for Pittsburgh or a roadblock? Do you think they've been exposed?
It's a stumbling block simply because you cannot expose them because they are a good team. If you don't have, I'm not going to, no, all teams have a weakness. I'm not going to say that. People know that the weakness is the offense right now. The droppers, the drop passes, the lack of a running game, but those can be fixed. That's not
Right,
something that's, oh, your whole offensive line is terrible, or you
right,
don't have any defense. I mean, they're plugging in pieces into that defense, and it's still being effective.
right, right. Because I mean, you lose Devin Bush, and then you lose his backup, and the guy that comes in to back him up, he's got a knee injury. He's going to be out. But it's just like wide receivers and linebackers. They keep plenty in stock.
We keep a
So
plenty.
right, we keep a we keep a backup role of wide receivers on the back of the toilet. Um,
With that crochet
here's why.
doll over top.
Right, right. So here's why I'm not worried about Pittsburgh long term. For all you Steelers fans out there, the only kryptonite to Coach Tomlin is Coach Belichick.
Hmm.
Coach Tomlin whoops a lot of ass in the AFC. The only times his team come up short is when he has to face that daggone New England with your boy Brady and Belichick. That should not be the case this year. Now, the
Hmm.
New England still has a chance to grab a playoff spot, but it's looking kind of shaky now with Miami continuing to win and Buffalo continuing to win. It's going to be hard to get
Hmm.
3 people out of that division. Um,
Hmm.
but as long as they're not playing New England, I'm not betting against Mike Tomlin against anybody in the playoffs,
No,
even Kansas
no,
City.
no.
I think
Mm-mm.
that the way that Denver played Kansas City on Sunday, I think Pittsburgh can do that plus some and,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
come out with a victory.
yeah, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this because this we didn't talk about this right before we came on air, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on this real quick before we let the people get off to the Cowboys game. James Harden, he called the Houston Rockets the other day the Knicks of the South. He called them the Knicks of the South. Tasha,
I'm wheezing. I'm wheezing.
Tasha, the Knicks of the South, the Knicks.
Basically,
Okay.
what Harden said in a nutshell. I don't fuck with y'all no more. That's what he said. I don't want to play with y'all no more. That's basically what he
um,
said.
that's basically what he said. If you're the new general manager, and it's not Daryl Morey, and forgive me that I can't think of his name right this second, but do you entertain bringing him in and letting him try to work it out with John Wall, or do you say to hell with that? We got to get rid of him before the season starts.
If James Harden, I've never really known James Harden to be, what do you say? I don't want to say this, but a cancer to a team in that aspect. You've never
Right.
known him to be that guy. He's always shown up and played, whether he ball hogged and took ill-advised shots, but he's always shown up. So I think even if they don't trade him or do whatever, I think he's still going to show up and play because that's just him. But he could get petty if they start losing or if the season doesn't go. But then again, Harden being Harden, he's gonna want to put his numbers up because he want to put on a show because he wants to get his money. Because he just
Right.
gave Lil Baby what 5K at an unmasked party last weekend. He's going to recoup that.
If I'm Harden's agent, I'm looking at a couple of cities. I'm looking at Toronto. I'm looking at Atlanta. I'm looking at Miami. I'm looking at all the strip club cities.
But
I'm
the
looking where all of
Zanzibar
the,
ain't been if you're in Toronto in the winter, well, they playing in Tampa this season. So hey, you never, yeah,
you know what?
hey,
You're right. You know what? You're right. Good job on you. So scratch Toronto. We got
because
Atlanta.
but
We
Tampa
got
is the
Miami.
strip club capital of the world. They have more strip clubs per capita than any other place.
Now, where else other than the extra point after dark will you hear strip clubs and per capita in the same damn sentence? Shouts out to Tasha T. Sizzle. So, okay, scale of 1 to 10. Your confidence in James Harden being in a Rockets uniform on Christmas Day when all of the headlight games start.
Oh, how much is his? Oh, how much is he? Oh, how much is he
Because he
owed?
says that he wouldn't mind going to Philly. That
Mm-hmm.
was one of his earlier requests is Philly or Brooklyn. It seems like it would be easier to facilitate a trade to Philly because you can get back a lot more pieces than probably Brooklyn would be willing to give up.
But who would
Plus,
Houston? I mean, but who would Philly let go, and who would they
you got to get
want?
rid of no shooter. What's his name? The non shooter.
Ben
The,
Simmons.
the the one who just chasing around that Kardashian girl in the clubs instead of working on his
Ben
three.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. You get rid of Ben Simmons. You get rid of some trade capital and maybe some cash considerations because let's face it, and y'all, I'm not even trolling. This is an absolute statistical fact that you can go check after this show. Ben Simmons has a worse 3-point career percentage than Shaq.
Yes, yes.
Shaq was a better 3-point shooter in his career. Shaq.
And the thing is, he can make the threes. Why is he so shaky? Why is he scared to shoot it? I, you shooting your
You
shot at
shoot.
these thoughts
Hey, he
out
ain't
here
scared to shoot his
in the
shot at them
Instagram,
Kardashians.
right? You shooting your shot at thoughts. Why you can't shoot it at the with the follow through?
Hey, like you said, with the little square above the rim, they just need to put a thought booty up there,
Hit
have it jiggle
hit
from the
that
left.
hit that little square like this is our setup, like this. Hit that right there. Let it bounce off
Hey,
at the car right into the hoop.
it's like we was all taught in PE class. Just hoist it
Right.
up there. Just hoist it up there, like for real. What? Okay. Enough about them now. Let's get to the main event. As you see us donned with them block M's, you know what I'm saying? We got the roll and the home hat rocking today. The University of Michigan answered all of our prayers today, T Sizzle. Ooh, not the Jordan brand. I think mine is back
Ooh.
from when Denard Robinson played, so I'm gonna leave this hat on right now. Um, the University of Michigan called off the game. She's already laughing. and it has turned Ohio State season into a mush pit. Because as it stands right now, and I'm going to try to explain this as easy and quickly as possible. The Big Ten, they voted in their bylaws when they decided to return to action that the team must have at least 6 games to qualify for the Big Ten championship. Now, Michigan not playing Ohio State only gives them 5 games. So the de facto, and since the other teams had 6 games, that it disqualifies them. So right now we're
No,
looking
no,
at the.
no, 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 no. I was listening today. They said if Indiana cannot, who's Indiana scheduled to play? Purdue. If
Oh
Purdue and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Indiana.
Look, I was trying to warm up to that part, T Sizzle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so because I want to ask you if that's fair. Okay, so as it stands right now, it will be Indiana and Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. No Big Ten championship game, only 5, 6 wins. There's no way in hell you get to make a college football playoff. That's where it stands now. Now, with that being said, there are further developments that came after that. And Tasha, go ahead and layer that. What you were saying about the 2 teams can play again.
In order for Ohio State to have another game, if their opponent, which is Michigan, cannot play, if they've already played an opponent, if that opponent is available, the Big Ten is somehow going to maneuver to allow the Fuckeyes to play them, which they've already beaten Indiana. So I'm hoping Purdue can go ahead and play them, so they'll just be stuck at 5 wins. Yes, I'm petty today.
I am very petty today, and I actually woke up with zero. When I woke up at first, I saw the report that Michigan was back on the practice field, and I was like,
Yeah, that's what I
oh
said. I
no,
said, let me get these skates laced up.
right? I was like, oh no, maybe we'll have a bad storm that'll blow out the power next Saturday. Because let's face it, we don't want no smoke. We don't want no smoke. No smoke this year. If we couldn't beat Michigan State, yeah, that part. So with that being said, you think that there is a possibility that because Purdue right now is having their own issues with COVID and they might not suit up. So, like the Big Ten said, if Indiana doesn't have a team to play and they're healthy, Ohio State doesn't have a team to play and they're healthy, they can play each other and get to that 6th game. Which, if you're Indiana, why in the hell would you want to do that? You're
First of
basically
all,
going to
why?
forfeit a trip to the Big Ten championship.
But that's just dumb. I mean, are they really that desperate to have a representative from the Big Ten in the national championship game? You look at these
Yes,
other the Power Five, the Power Five, who sometimes don't get a representative because the SEC always takes 2 spots. You have,
right,
Big 12 didn't have somebody. The poor Pac-10, I don't even know why they're in it. They never,
right,
they never send a
right,
team. Or, Oregon may be their only hope.
right.
But
See, they're the
you
one.
know,
The Pac-12 is the ones who always have a full dish left at every potluck.
yeah, yeah, they got cats. The cats stirring their soup, putting cats walking around the counter for the rotel, and
Stirring in the porridge.
ain't nobody eating that 'cause they got cats. But but you're so stupid. But
They do
I
it.
just I just think the football world has already been stopped spinning on its axis due to this COVID. Guess what? The football will go on if you don't have a Big Ten representative
Right,
in the playoffs. It'll go on. It's not going
right.
to stop.
If you're Texas A&M, if you're Florida, hell, if you're even Oklahoma, that's played a full season that started in September like you were supposed to, then you got to be looking like, hey, wait a minute, they only played 5 games. Their only ranked win was against Indiana, and that was one that they very well could have lost. And
Hmm.
they get another shot at Indiana. It's just the name Indiana. When you're talking about football, you got to be like, are you kidding me? When Florida had to go take on TAMU, they had to play Georgia. You got to play all these different teams. Excuse me. And the Big 12, say what you want about the Big 12, but they have forged through and pushed through and played. They played
Hmm.
each other. So, I mean, Ohio State, Y'all were the ones that started this petition. You and your parents, Justin Fields, and your parents, you want to get back out there on the field. Take your number 3 draft slot and get the hell out of here. Scram,
Get your
beat it.
Lee's famous recipe and get out of here.
Get your 2-piece and your biscuit and get out of here. We don't want to hear no holler. Look, the college football committee, and this is what I hope happens. I hope they have a couple of OGs like me and you on the college football committee that are not above being petty and that are not above putting in human rationale with this other than just crunching some damn numbers. Because if it's me, I'm like, I know what y'all up to, Big Ten. Y'all could have sat this
Because
thing out.
the whole point of them having this committee was so they could take the computers out. Remember back in the day when we had the AP, you had the coaches poll, and then you had the
Right.
computer, and they were like, "Oh,
And
the computer shouldn't." Go
And
ahead.
the BCS was just real confusing.
Right, the BCS was just like, what? So
Right.
I mean, they need to think about this. Not saying that now, I mean, I hate to say this, but if you put Ohio State in,
Right.
they will give you a decent matchup. I
Not
have to
against
admit
Clemson.
that.
They don't want no more Dabo.
No, they don't want that. But
they will be competitive though.
But they'll be competitive. That's my point. They'll be competitive. Would you really want to see a Clemson and a Arizona, or a Clemson and those are it's kind of like that Notre Dame thing. Even though I'm really not a fan of Notre Dame is going to they're going to put the eyes on the TV. They're going to generate the revenue that is necessary, or that the NCAA craves so much.
A national brand.
Mm-hmm.
Now look who's in the comments, Mr. Michigan Michael Hasso. As a matter of fact, Mike, you sit tight. I'm about to hit you up, bruh.
Come on,
now,
Mike.
Tasha, as you were saying about, I need you to hold the fort down a minute while I try to do two things at once. Talking and chewing gum is not my forte here.
Well, I'm gonna get off some of these jokes. Somebody said on Twitter, Harbaugh was walking around Schembechler Hall coughing on people. And they talking about possibly extending him after this. Where they're gonna have talks after the season.
Let's get to that Sizzle. While and Mike, check your inbox. Let's get to that Sizzle because today on the herd with Colin Calvert, I just wanted to make sure I said that properly. A report came out of Ann Arbor that as much as 5 teams may be interested in Harbaugh in the NFL after the season is done. And hell, we can think of 3, 4, 5 of them right out there. Dallas, Philly, New York.
Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. Los Angeles, because I'm sorry, 45-0. Anthony Lynn. 45-0. Use Nigra. You can't lose 45-0.
I was hungry. I was Nigra. My team is sorry.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot lose by that much. You just can't do it.
No.
So
you can't do it.
So do you
Who
think
you
this is
are,
frustrating? Right. Oh, 8-ball eyes. Man, ain't Metaline he ain't like. He walking around the locker room talking about eat the cake, anime.
Okay, good, Spider. No,
what
it ain't
fidgeting
for,
Coach?
Motherfucker pound on you. No.
What you fidgeting for, Coach?
You stay. You a
like
dead
Robin
woman.
Harris. Like Robin Harris said, man, this eye so big. I thought somebody was walking up behind me. Wait a minute. And look what we have here.
Michael.
Hair's all messed up, but
Where's the go blue?
Huh? I just got back from the working out. So
Hey, but you
You still
just in
supposed to have
time.
a
Oh,
lid on?
where's your troll lid? This is a day of celebration. We do not have to watch ourselves get beat by 50 by the Scarlet Uckers, you know.
man, I was so happy to delete that from my calendar. I was like, delete.
Now, Mike, we're going to ask you this because I don't know how much of this that you were able to hear. Now, Ohio is going to try to maneuver because Tasha brought up an excellent point. There is like a loophole within this whole thing with the 6 games that
Yeah.
if Indiana doesn't have anybody to play this week and they're healthy, and Ohio doesn't have anybody, well, they don't have anybody to play this week, that they can play each other giving Ohio that 6 game. Do you think that's finagling the system, and do you think the Big Ten will push for that so we can have a team represented in the college football playoff?
Well, yeah, I think they're definitely trying too too hard to get somebody in there, but it's money in the end of the game. You know, you want somebody in the playoffs representing you. But you know what would be funny is if they ended up playing against each other and Indiana ended up winning.
Yes.
Ooh, hey, that almost happened the first time.
Right. You.
If you are Indiana, you do not want to play that game. I'd go find anybody else to play. Where's Liberty? Where's Coastal Carolina? Who
Yeah,
out there taking applications?
man,
I'm not picking
that coastal team was bullying BYU. I felt bad for them. I was like, man,
Yeah.
leave them alone.
and since this is the after dark, we can actually say it and not the acronym. BYU, sit your ass down. For weeks, y'all was talking about anywhere, anytime, any place like y'all Janet Jackson or some damn body. Anytime, anywhere. And remember when they did all of that? We'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. Did they start trying to pick up other people's games? Somehow we'll play y'all. We want to show the committee. Y'all picked up that Coastal Carolina game and got punched in the throat.
Mm.
Now you
I
can't
ain't
breathe.
like BYU since Ty Detmer won that Heisman that year over Andre Ware. I ain't like them since.
That's a 20-year-old beat. So okay, so Mike, here we are. Okay, so now we caught you up to this. There was a report today that Jim Harbaugh has 5 potential suitors in the NFL. Go or
Yeah.
stay.
Mm-hmm. It sounds. I mean, it seems like he's leaning towards the NFL, which I don't blame him. You know, like he was doing good things in the NFL. Plus, you don't have to worry about necessarily like recruiting and all that, which I know that's been his thing to work on in college. Like he can't do it. so I think
What
for
about
his,
all the defensive players?
huh?
What about all the defensive players that's going to the pros in first round and all of that?
I mean, defense can only get you so far. I mean, I know we're you know, back in the day, back in our time, like it's defense wins championships, but it's not like that no more. It's offense wins championships.
That's true.
And so we've proven that having the top 10 defenses in the past, we still haven't got to the Big Ten championship.
Right.
So
Doesn't give us any victories. Have not won anything, wasting all that defensive talent.
I think we need to get rid of. I wouldn't be surprised if we got rid of Harbaugh. And I actually like Harbaugh, but the coaching staff that comes with him is what I want to leave. So I want the Brown to leave. Like come on, man. Like go somewhere else. We need someone newer that can adjust on the fly, and he obviously can't do that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, usually, the step before the coaches asked, the coordinators are asked. So you saying that should be the next step? So to give him one more year with the new offensive and defensive coordinator.
I mean, I would like to see it, but I know that it's probably not going to happen.
I mean, who else?
So
Who else is wanting that Michigan job? That's it. Okay, you get rid of Harbaugh. Who else? I mean, who replaces him? What do you do?
Let's bring back Les Miles. I know no one wants to see it, but I mean,
he was robbed of his opportunity in 07 because of that damn Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah,
he was, because he's at Kansas now. You know, I mean, Kansas is not a football school. Yeah, I'd be okay with Les. I really would. Like, you can't be up there eating the grass.
I was just
Like
going to
he
say, we got
did.
tasty grass up there in Ann
Get
Arbor.
get
Tasty
Les
Blades.
Miles, get Charles Woodson in the DC.
Now Charles ain't cut out for that. He like to be sharp, wearing ascots and sports jackets and whatnot. He
No,
can't.
no, no. He going to go upside somebody's head with a bottle of his signature wine.
And maybe that's what we need.
That's exactly what we need. But the thing is, though, maybe I'm stuck in the fear and paralyzed by what happened from '07 to like 2012 when we was going through that whole little thing and we couldn't get it right at the coaching position. Like, I'm scared that we're gonna wind up with one of them again. A Butch
Right.
Davis type, a Brady Hope type, or
We
somebody
cannot
who's gonna
afford
just send us
that.
backwards.
Yeah, we can't afford to go through that again. We can't.
Plus, plus, we still got JJ coming through. He's supposed to sign next week.
And then if you know,
Don't
this is the
smile. What you
time
smiling about?
for you to get your recruits. If Harbaugh is gone, if you have a recruit that's coming in because they want to play for Harbaugh, if he leaves, do the recruits leave too? Like, are you wanting to play for Michigan or are you wanting to play for Harbaugh? That recruit, like Mike said, that recruiting thing is that's gonna be a bad deal right there.
We can't make no moves until JJ is on campus. We need Mr. McCarthy on campus. He's supposed to be our savior. And don't y'all mess this up. Now, from what I understand, let me calm down.
I think from what it sounds like, he's more interested in the title of being a Michigan quarterback and what that
Okay.
holds. So I wouldn't be worried about him changing his mind.
You would. I'm
Mike, you
worried. I'm
muted
wondering
yourself.
if Shoelace got any more eligibility. I'm sure he could still run about a 4.4.
He can tuck the dreads up under. We won't know it's him. And we can just
What's that?
double knot.
Tuck him up under.
Tuck him up under the helmet.
Now, Mike, we got a big game that's going on tonight between Baltimore and Dallas. What is your
Watching that
prediction
right.
for tonight? What
I'm
you
watching
say?
that right now.
Oh, it's on now.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
What's going on?
We down 21-0.
No, it's 0-0 still.
Zeke jumping that cattle.
There's just a lot of bad offenses right now. It looks pretty
Especially
bad.
when he was jumping in that cattle. Zeke was a good man. A good man.
Especially when he was jumping in that cattle.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, you think how does this all play out? Does Ohio State go to the Big Ten championship game? Yay or nay?
If Indiana's smart, I'd say nay. But they're gonna want the fuck eyes there. So
Right.
I'm inclined if they're gonna finagle and find a way to get them there. I hate to say that.
It needs to be Ohio versus Northwestern and the Big Ten.
Right.
Right. And then that's how it should be. That's how it's going to be, I think.
Now let me ask you two this: you two are here in Dallas with the competition committee, with the playoff committee. Do you all smell a rat and decide to vote against that as far as your top four if that does happen with Ohio State?
I'm voting against them anyway because of the strength of schedule. I mean, they can help it, with everything that happened. Their strength of schedule. You have so many other teams who have a better strength of schedule. It goes against the thing you get: better team or undefeated record.
Right. Who has better record versus better team? Notre Dame deserves to be there. Alabama is going to be there. Florida, if they beat Alabama, then Ohio State can just forget about it. And if Florida beats Alabama, or if Clemson beats Notre Dame, they can forget about it. So really, really, it could be taken out of their hands because Clemson and Notre Dame would make it in that scenario, and or Alabama and Florida would make it in that scenario.
Right.
Anybody but them greasy cheeseburger eating,
fat 12 sandwich eating.
Right. But hey, look, this is what they wanted. How long do you think we're gonna have to live this down, ducking this game?
Oh, this will go in infamy, but I'm prepared for it.
I am too.
I'm prepared. I have about 4 or 5 Michigan shirts down here. I got 3 hats. I got the maize, the blue, and the white. I got the alternatives. I got everything down here. I got the earrings. Man, I'm here for it.
Okay, look, we're gonna end this with me congratulating, first of all, Tasha on being right about the whole college football season. Damn it, she was right. I wouldn't even be stressing out and losing hair over this if I would have just listened to her and not even tried to push for this season. And I want to congratulate Mike because me and Mike are in a fantasy football league, and I had to win my last game to make the playoffs, and I'm playing Mike right now, and I got a 10-point lead. He's got two players playing tonight, and I'm about to lose. He about to put me out the playoffs. I ought to eject you out of this show.
No, you got this. I went ahead and benched my 2 wide receivers, so
Hey,
you're
don't
good.
say that. My brother's watching this. D, he just
Oh,
playing.
before we go, can I give another little small shout out?
Give a big shout out.
You know, it's to our favorite girl, Tiffany, Firebird's Chicken down there in Houston. If you're in the Houston area, please stop by. It's 2616, I think it's Blodgett Road, but it's in Houston, Texas. So if you're in the Houston area, please stop by. And it's Firebird's Hot Chicken. If you Google it, don't Google rotisserie because they permanently close. We don't want that for Firebird's Hot Chicken. But yes, please, shouts out to our classmate, Miss Tiffany Rowe. Please
Yes.
patronize her business.
Right now, and I need to get her information from you off wax so I can start promoting her on the radio side of things.
Yeah, me too. Send me her information.
And and the new slogan for the Firebirds Chickens: one for you, two for me.
Two for me.
Inside joke, Tiffany. We know we know you're doing a great job, and we support you and all that good stuff. Can I get a T-shirt? Where's the T-shirt? I'm ready to start pumping out some of this merch.
My
Mike,
friend Ingrid is making Tiffany's T-shirt. She's gonna. I needed to get to make some for Sasha too.
okay,
For the
Mike, you got
coffee spot.
anything you got anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, if y'all need anything else besides t-shirts, y'all hit me up.
Look, we're not talking about that Colombian clear that you be moving at the border. I still ain't quite
Y'all
figured out how
move
y'all
that
got all
dough.
that stuff in that house.
Y'all niggas, don't it make it? Y'all niggas move that dough.
He got that China white. Hey, he got that China white. Oh. No, look, I'm glad that you were able to catch it on the show, ladies and gentlemen. The hit squad is back in the building. Fugees with just 1 or 2. You gotta have all 3 for it to be the Fugees. You know what I'm saying? So, like, on behalf of Lauren and Praz, it's for Mr. P.O. Culture. He unmuted to hit that note, y'all. He's serious. So, look, now I will log off and go and count the points down as Amari Cooper's catches continue to accumulate, and I get knocked out of the playoffs in the league I invited him into. What kind of friend is that? Just horrible friend. Go Blue. We will see y'all next Tuesday night.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Peace.